Hello everyone and welcome. We are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and I'm gonna have to say this right off the bat. I have incoming thunderstorms coming at me with a possible tornado, and that tends to play havoc with my internet connection. In fact, I'm already getting warnings from YouTube that the internet connection isn't the best. It's been gone from excellent, which is what it almost always is, to good. It's telling me to lower the bit rate, but I can't do that while I have to actually stop the stream to do that as far as I can tell. So yeah, it could be an adventure. So it's to kind of let people know that that is a possibility. That, well, what can we do? We're just going to have to go along and see what happens. In the meantime, this is my hardcore stream. The basic gist of this is that I'm playing on hard mode. So that means no reverts, no quick saves, nothing like that, as well as increasing the difficulty of a number of other things. And also, I lowered the default science rate to just 30% of normal, which means that progress is slow. But speaking of progress and speaking of collecting science, that's what this mission's about here. This is a probe on its way to do a flyby of Eve, with the hope of also doing a flyby of Gilly at the same time. I got some science instruments aboard. There's the magnetometer, there is a thermometer and a barometer. That's actually my only science I have that's really worth transmitting. This is not going to come back. The only science I'm going to collect is going to be transmittable science. And also, this is going to be my first probe that is going to leave Kerbal's SOI and orbit the sun for a while. So that will be a fresh batch of science as well. Now, at the conclusion of the last stream, we had ejected ourselves and put ourselves into orbit, sent ourselves on our way to Eve, or on our way moving away from Kerbal right now. But that ejection was, well, some design issues, mostly around these engines down here, had that getting to orbit to be less efficient than it otherwise would be, and I'm a little bit more fuel starved than I thought I would be. So between the two streams, I kind of played with some maneuver nodes a little bit. I've got a correction burn coming up here for 354.1 meters per second, and I'll just show you that one right here. That is, of course, the old mid-course correction here. That's this one here. That's going to get us our Eve intercept. And why don't we focus our view here on Eve? Actually, it's showing Gilly, but I guess that works too. Let's just focus on Eve if I can. You gonna let me? There we go. There we go. So this is our trajectory coming into Eve right here. And then I set up a second maneuver right here that's getting us our capture, as you can see, and it's just barely a capture. And moreover, I've fiddled with the two maneuvers so that if I set Gilly as a target right there, I have my ascending node with Gilly right on the orbit here. You can see that right here. That means that these two orbits are crossing. We are not meeting up with Gilly. You can see, well, not ridiculously far apart, but we do have an orbit that crosses Gilly's orbit, which means it should be possible to finagle a flyby of Gilly. I'm really hoping that that will end up working. And if I take a look, remember this mid-course correction is 354 meters per second. The second maneuver, I have it down here, is 269 meters per second, and if you add those up, that comes out to 623 meters per second. I have in my ship 656 meters per second, or in my probe. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong. I'm hoping that this will all kind of work. We'll just have to see. As well, we got our periapsis here with Eve nice and low, about 155 meters per second, or kilometers, sorry. Near space is 400 kilometers, so that gets us well into near space. So hopefully that will be some additional science. And as well, I plan on hopefully getting into near space around Gilly. So basically, that's the plan for today, is to complete this mission, collect the science, get this contract. This contract just requires me to go into Eve's SOI. So that, getting the contract at least, should be the easy part. So why don't we just start time warping away? And everybody pray to the internet and thunderstorm and weather gods. Oh, shoot, it's time. Okay. It's... Stop being that way. There we go. It was stopping at each biome. Why don't we actually... Oh, get back. Here we are. Let's just do a warp to here. I turned on the stop at when you're at a new biome because I thought it would stop when we exited Kerbin's SOI, but instead it stopped because I was over the shores. But none of the science I'm doing is biome specific, so that's not very useful. There we go. We are now our first craft orbiting the sun. That gives us some science. Let's see what we got here. So a temperature scan. 3.4 science I can transmit with that. Again, like I said, it's not exciting. Let's get rid of this. Actually, we'll just move that down a little bit. There we go. Atmospheric pressure scan for 5 science. Oh, I would think getting in orbit of the sun. Let's see what the magnetometer report does for us. Hopefully that's a little bit more. Uh, 22.7 science there. Transmit that. And then otherwise, we are on our way 71 days and 2 hours to get this burn done. Now let's take a look. Make sure our encounter with Eve, make sure everything here is still... Sometimes when you cross SOIs, things suddenly change. I just want to make sure everything here is still good. It all looks the same. So... let's do it. So, yeah, not much to do. Just going to hit this. This actually is all going to go pretty quick. It's going to be a ton of time warping. So how much science do I have at home now? Sort of keep track of it here. Where is it? This one. 103. Ugh, not super, is it? Oh, we are here. Okay, let's set ourselves on the maneuver. It's mostly a normal correction. Am I still time warping or something? Oh no, I just had the, because I was moving windows, the focus was on that window. Okay, we'll just do this. Now this is a 2-stager. So this is the stage that dealt with the upper part of our orbital insertion about Kerbin, and it also did the ejection, but there's only about 101 meters per second left in it, so it's going to be gone pretty quick, and then it's going to be forever in orbit about the sun, which I am 100% comfortable with. I'm going to be scattering our debris into interplanetary space. Okay, 3 and 2 and 1 and go. I'm also hoping... Here, let's wait. I got a staging event coming up. I should say that pretty quick. Oh, there is? Hopefully... Oh, it seems better now. Yeah. There was a bit of tendency for this thing to wobble. Like to pull to one side, but now it seems perfectly fine. That's interesting. Not sure what to make of that. There's something with that previous stage. Maybe an engine was not quite right. So it's up to this little guy to do all the rest of it. And I remember now I was going to say something and now I forgot. Oh yes, I'm hoping that my mic is in much better shape now than it was last year or last week. I did all kinds of some computer upgrades the weekend before, and including remounting the mic, and I ended up, there's a knob on the back of it for the gain, and somehow in screwing the mic back onto the stand, sorry, I'm gonna have to pay attention to what I'm doing here, I turned the gain knob at the back of the mic to full. So that's what happened. That's why the sound was a little bit peaking a little bit, is what one person described it as. A little more. And as long as the internet holds out, I also noticed my streams last week, somehow software got set to be on 720p rather than on 1080. Though maybe that wouldn't have been a bad thing, considering my internet connection's not the best. We should be... Oh, I'm seeing it here. I'm seeing it here. Let's focus on Eve. Okay. Watch this. I'd like it to be around 150. Probably will have to tweak that other maneuver, but that's okay. Alright, that's pretty good. Now, put this guy right on periapsis. And again, I'm looking for, if I set Gilly as a target, the AN. Okay, so the AN, not precisely where I want it to be. I'm going to do some experimentation, is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to turn down this thrust limiter just really, because I think now's the time. I want this AN here, so I can see here the orbit needs to come up. So I don't know if it's going to be an normal or an anti-normal that will get that happening. So I just turned the thrust limiter really down. I'm just going to blow in a normal direction. And then I'm going to reconfigure this maneuver. The unfortunate thing that happens is that it corrects. I'm not sure I did anything. Did that feel like it got any closer? Let's try that again. I don't think I'm doing anything. Maybe the best thing is to wait till I'm out here. Do the correction when I'm out there. I think so. Do maybe a bit of a plane change way out here rather than fooling around right now. So I don't want to end up wasting too much fuel with this. I got me a feeling that what might be happening with this is that because there's a maneuver there, well, it looks the same. Sometimes you do burns, and then if there's a maneuver in the path, it starts to do the maneuver for you, if you know what I mean. And so it doesn't end up changing any. I don't know. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm stop talking. Okay, we are got to go to Mrs. Eve's SOI. That's what we're going. So, just talking a little bit about the game's alarm clock. Here, let's get back out here. So this is the built-in alarm clock. I don't know what this is. Oh, that was for my maneuver or something. Okay. We're going to create an alarm. Now, you can create an alarm for the SOI change. You know, maybe give yourself like 5 minutes warning and say add alarm. And so I'm going to be crossing the SOI in 109 days, 5 hours and something. And that should be right. Like if I go here, yeah, that's making some sense. But I don't know if anyone's ever had this experience before, but sometimes you start time warping and this encounter will disappear. And it's, of course, now that I'm talking about it, it's not going to do it for me here. But if you ever had that experience where the encounter disappears, this maneuver or this alarm will disappear along with it. And you will, if you're depending on the alarm to stop you, blow right by your encounter. It's really, really frustrating, so keep an eye on that. The way to sort of counteract that is to actually make a manual alarm to instead of making the one that's tied to the maneuver. And I've had that happen a few times before I had that before I figured out what was going on. I also have some milestones here. We have entered orbit of the sun, and we have gathered our first scientific data from orbit of the sun. Excellent. Okay, we can time warp a little quicker than this. And unfortunately, I can't quick save. So I'm going to keep close eye on this in case this alarm somehow fails me. You can see us getting closer and closer to Eve. We have a nice strong signal with Kerbal thanks to our Tier 3 tracking station. I'm really nervous about going right by. And our 2 antennas. Yep, it's stopping. I shouldn't have been so paranoid. Okay, and we should. Eve looks like it's coming out away from us. I just should be able to spot Eve. There it is. Yeah, delete and close. Okay. Let's switch SOIs. We always see that chain. There it is. We switched SOI. So we are now in Eve, and that satisfies our contract. Just entering Eve's SOI is all that was required for that. So great. Let's put the contract away. And let's do what science we got. So we got 8.4 science from that. We've got the atmospheric pressure scan, 12.5. Seems so underwhelming. And then the magnetometer boom. I love that animation of it extending. Ooh, 56.4. There's something a little bit more substantial. All right. And we got more science coming once we get into Eve's SOI. And I'm thinking my best plan, we can play with this. Let's see. If I go to the maneuver, you're going to let me focus on Eve here. There we go. Set that again as a target. My instinct says that I should do the plane change out here. But just for gigglesies, let's see if I try and do the plane change here, how much this will cost. I'll just take the normal part out. So if which way do I have? I would have to go anti-normal. I got a feeling I got to put in a lot here. See how you can do this and then get your other flyby. This is a bad idea. This is already a bad idea. Why am I doing such a bad idea? I'm hoping the plane change out here would be pretty cheap. Let's see what that would be like. So I would have to do a little bit of thisness. And what I'm looking for is just getting the AN. I'm not looking for an encounter or anything. Oh, I have that scale way too high. I'm worried this is going to cost us too much. I'm worried I already botched this. What is that maneuver? Maneuver number 2? Oh, it's only 9. This scale always messes me up. Okay. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, we can delete that second maneuver. It's only 9 meters per second. I'm just going to do the flat-out capture here. Oh, well, good for you, Pranav, for writing your own KOS script. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to watch. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned with is communications. So we're going to keep a close eye, because we're definitely at some point going to drop in behind Eve's communication shadow. But hopefully we'll have some period of time. We're not missing Eve or Gilly by that much, are we? We'll have some period of time here where our altitude is below 400 kilometers. You see that green? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I do have it set to have limited probe control. So I will be able to have some probe control in order, but this burn is directly going to be in the communication shadow. Okay. I can see it coming. I can see it coming, so that's okay. We'll make it work. A good way to gain science in the early mode. A lot of people really love going to each of the buildings in the KSC and doing whatever science that they can. That's just easy science to grind. Myself personally, just aim going further You know, the old further, try just getting to new biomes. Try just getting to high space. Just try to get further and further away from Kerbin's surface. Try and get something to the moon. You know, that kind of thing. That's personally. But if you want, like low fruit to collect, build a rover or something and just go around the K, or even have a Kerbal just run around the KSC. Okay, so once I lose my communication signal, which is going to happen, I will have limited probe control. And what that means is the WASD keys will no longer work. That's why I put myself on the maneuver node as best I could right now. I can lock to retrograde and lock to prograde, which actually might be helpful because this is going to be pretty much a retrograde. And I can control the throttle not with the shift key and the control key, but only with Z and X. In other words, only full throttle or no throttle. At least I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping that I have it set up that way. If I don't, I'm going to be in trouble. All right, I'm below 400. Let's do it. There we go. Transmit before we lose our signal. And transmit this one. And transmit that magnetometer report. None of this stuff is biome specific. Excellent. How much science? That's got to get me some science. 213 science now back home. We still got Gilly, hopefully. Oh, turn up the thrust limiter. I think I did. I did. But very good advice. So we have lost our communication. And Eve is there looking very purple and menacing. Evil looking noxious clouds. And there's nothing precise about this burn. All I got to do is get myself a capture. So, and then once I have the capture, I can work other stuff out. And then, because I'm getting myself a feeling this is all going to be done before this stream is set to be done. I gotta figure out what I'm going to do next. I'll have to take a look at contracts, see what's available. I do have a bunch of contracts. I'm not going to look at them right now. Here, let's time warp a little bit. I remember picking up a bunch of other contracts. Still lots of science in around the moon for me to collect and around Mimus. Boy, I certainly do hope that I do have the settings set right. I'm pretty sure I have limited probe. Oh, it'll say up here. Yes, limited probe control. If I had it, I could have it in the settings that I have no probe control in this circumstance, but I don't think that's quite fair. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. The mighty ant engine has been lit. Can I have links to all of my mods? No, sorry, I can't. But there's a list of all the mods down there in the description. Almost all of those mods were installed using CCAN. And the ones that weren't installed using CCAN that have to be installed manually, I did provide links for those. Yeah, John was saying, I wish the game was set up with some simple automation. I think that would be like really normal. At this stage, if you're sending probes around, that you have some basic automation. I mean, that's what would happen. And that's what I think of this limited probe control. I think of it as sort of basic automation. Okay, still do not have my capture. But I'm hoping it'll happen pretty soon. I got still a negative apoapsis. There it goes. Okay, let's cut it. Oh, whoa, there it says I don't? Okay. Don't like that. There it is. Okay. The number here was positive, but oh, I can't get rid of the maneuver yet until I get communications back. All right, so I don't want to set up this. Let's just time warp until we have our communication system back. So we've gotten all the science we can get around Eve. We did the near space. We did the high space. I'm just waiting. There's my communication. I can now delete this maneuver. Reorient this. What is my signal strength, by the way? 90%. For those that don't know, there is a positive transmission buff, I can't say it now, buff, for transmitting science, depending on signal strength. But I'm pretty sure it's 100% once you're at 80. So there's no reason to go beyond that. Okay, I think the best plan is to be out here. Do an itsy bitsy teensy weensy little burnsy. Not quite sure which way it's got to go. Looks to me like it's anti. I know what's confusing me. I think I'm going around in a. I am going around in a retrograde direction. Just notice that. Oh, that's probably wasn't okay. I think it'll be inconsequential, but I didn't. And the reason I'm noticing it is because the anti-normal is on the top. So I'm going, that's a pretty solid indicator you're going around retrograde. And that's the opposite direction that Gilly's going around. Now, because I'm only doing a flyby, I don't think it's really a big deal. But really, you should I can get the words out. I should have come around prograde if I wanted to, but I don't think it's amounting to anything. Okay, so I got the AN here. I'm gonna see if I can get a bit of an encounter. You never know. Now I can't burn retrograde here because that'll put my, well, be honest, it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just see. I'm noticing my encounters are pretty close. What am I doing? Oh, because I'm a doofus. No, that's. Oh, I lost my Gilly encounter. Set the target again. There we go. I'm gonna fiddle around with this, see if I can get an encounter on my way back to Eve. And I was about to say it might put my periapsis with Eve down into the atmosphere, but that's not really a big deal. I think I'm actually going the wrong way. Actually, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think I'm accomplishing it. I'm not accomplishing anything. What am I even thinking about? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We're going to have to do this on a later orbit. So take that normal component off. Refix that. Got ahead of myself. Okay. So this is a teeny, 17.8 meters per second. Okay, a little more than I thought it was going to be. I only have 27 left. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see. Let's make this a little longer. But I think if I went around prograde, I don't think I would have had that issue with the communication problem. All right. Am I going to dip into the atmosphere? We'll see. My first priority is to fly by Gilly. We can try and dip into the atmosphere. I don't believe the magnetometer does anything in the atmosphere, but the pressure scan and thermometer do. So they might be able to squeeze out some science out of that, but I think Gilly's a higher priority. But then once Gilly's done, I can do what I want with this probe, can't I? It doesn't matter. Okay. 18 meters per second, and I only got 27 left. Ugh. We'll see. Gilly is a pretty teensy weensy little target. Do I still need to transmit the data from the magnetometer? I don't think so. I'll try, though. I don't think so. I think I transmitted it, but I'll check. I shall check. You could be right. I might have lost it with the signal loss. So just going to try and burn this as precisely as I can. Delete that. Okay, do I do a little more? Nope, I overcooked it. Again, the idea is just putting that AN right on the orbit, because that means the two orbits are crossing there. Okay, let's check that magnetometer. I'm being told. Review data. You are correct, sir. Thank you. Oh, I guess the giveaway was that the antenna was still sticking out. Okay. Oh, okay. Excellent. All right, so I only got 9 meters per second left, so we do not have much to play with. I'm going to put a maneuver right here. And we're just going to, where's Gilly? Over there. I'm going to start popping ahead orbits and seeing if we have a situation. So maybe not there, but maybe more this way. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. I'm coming around the other way, this way. There we go. So I'm seeing how many orbits to maybe get something close. Oh boy, this. Oh, whoa, whoa, there's something. Unfortunately, it's not at the right end. This requires a plane change the other way. Let's see if I can do it. Put a maneuver right about here. Put the DN close. Oh, you want it. You want it. You want it. You got it. You got it. Focus view. Gilly is such an itsy bitsy little. Oh, I've got me a hit. I've got me a hit. I'm gonna turn this right down. This needs to be below 6 kilometers for near space, believe it or not. Now, actually, Kerbal is away from us on the sun. So this time I'm going to think about what side of Gilly I'm on, and I think that's the correct side. Let's take a look at our... Kerbal's that way. Maybe the other side's better. You can see Kerbal is this way. Should be good. All right. That is, looks like it's going to clonk into the terrain. The issue is that near space with Gilly, I think I'm just going to go with this. Maybe, what about, let's see. If I came across the north. I gotta be a little careful. I can't burn more fuel than I got. I'm thinking, too, that this is showing Gilly where it is now, but... that looks like it's just skimming the surface. We're going to come within near space. I'm going to go with that one. Yeah, Kerbin's, that's being in 200, it's in 200 days. Kerbin's position is going to change. You're 100% right. So I'm sitting here shooting in the dark anyway. We'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. But this is a 7.7 meter per second burn, and I have 9 seconds. This burn's coming up in 2 hours and 29 minutes. So I'm going to just reduce this so I can burn this as accurately as I can. Feels good. Okay, I almost hit F5. Okay, where's Eve? There's Eve. So we're going to go whipping around Eve. This could be fun. Let's put this in free mode. And then we got this maneuver coming up in 2.5 hours. So let's do that. Yep. The RBOP, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, is 100% correct. Kerbin will be, everything will be in a different position. Oh. I thought I was going around doing another orbit, but I am not. I got this set up for right now. Right here. Right now. So, let's do this thing. Darn retrograde orbit messing me up again. Gilly I find is a fun... Other people I don't think find Gilly as fun as I do. Gilly's often my first crewed interplanetary target. Because Eve is the cheapest planet to get to. Sorry, I do have to concentrate. Which makes getting to Gilly pretty cheap, but... It can be frustrating to land on because the time warp turns off on you. You can't time warp and you got to go like so slow. Just gonna do a little. Oh wait, this isn't going to show me what it is next because it's in several orbits in the future. Okay, that's as good as that's going to get. Oh, let's see. Can I do... That's not moving it. Let's see. Whoops. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's delete that. I messed up that. Put a maneuver. Which way around? I'm going this way around. So probably the better plan. Let's put a maneuver here. To see if I can retweak this. So pop ahead orbit, 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 pop ahead orbit. It was several orbits. That's it. I just want to pop this out a bit so it's not just... I would prefer not to have to crash into Gilly. We'll go with that. Yeah, there is the better time warp mod. That's an excellent suggestion for dealing with Gilly. Okay, we are... now going to go ahead. Oh my gosh, really 213 days? Okay. I was going to F5, but that's not a point. There's no point in that. You'll notice that this is virtually an inconsequential burn. We'll do that. And let's go. So there's going to be a few orbits. Woo! Not playing with any life support mods or anything like that, so no Kerbals that I have to worry about. But I'm quite happy. Look at this, 1 meter per second. I'm quite happy that this is all going to work out. So there isn't going to be any dip into Eve's atmosphere. There's no way I have the fuel to do that. Gilly doesn't have anywhere near the mass to make any kind of meaningful gravity assist. So there we go. Oh my gosh, the maneuver node's not even showing up. I'm just going to look at here, go to here. Go to the maneuver. Go to here. It's prograde. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go prograde. And I'm actually going to get rid of the maneuver. But that should get me going in the direction I want to go. It is the opposite of that. Was it a negative on the prograde? Am I that dumb? I think I am that dumb. It is a negative. It was retrograde. So I just want to get that PE out of the terrain. There. I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that. Yeah, it's retrograde. Darn negative signs. Okay, so we've got an Gilly encounter. Here, let's put this back onto here. In 10 days, so I should be able to use the little alarm clock feature here. Create an alarm for the SOI change. Yep, 10 days. Give me 5 minutes warning. That feels right. Again, if you... No, oh, here we go. Perfect example. Okay, so look at the alarm here. This is what I was talking about earlier. Alarm's coming up in just under 10 days. See that? But if I do a little bit of time warping, because the encounter disappears, which sometimes happens when you time warp, notice that the SOI change got completely messed up. It's now saying over 21 days. So that can happen. And if you were counting on this to stop you, you'll blow right by your encounter and not be sure why. The way to fix it is to ignore this one because it's clearly not going to work for us. And instead make a manual alarm for 9 days. What do we got here? 5 hours and 55 minutes. And just add that in. So now there's 2 alarms here. I think, yeah, they're both here. But this one now won't disappear because it's not connected to the encounter. So a little trick. Oh, I'm so messed up with which way around I'm going. Am I going to be hitting it on this turnaround or? Yeah, oh yeah, it's not showing it. That's right. Yeah, I am going to hit it. Here we go. Here we go. This is going to be a high... This is a high velocity encounter. Doesn't matter because I'm not going to try and get in orbit. But if I were to try and get in orbit, it would be an expensive one. I'm getting nervous. Where's Gilly? There it is. Still not in Gilly's SOI. Delete and close. Actually, really quickly, I think my signal's going to be good. I hope. Let's time warp the rest. Still nowhere near. Oh, I hate that. See? Like that's 5 minutes away. I hate when those encounters disappear. And this is like almost a direct hit. And it's still disappearing on me. It's not like it's close. Just... Gilly's SOI is so small. Delete. Just a couple more minutes. Got to get past this DN here. 45 seconds. I think it'll do it automatically. Stop, that is. Orient the other way. It looks better always when it's pointing right side up, doesn't it? Where are we here? 27 seconds. Oh, we got more. Yeah, I'll take a look at my world first after this. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay. We are now in Gilly's SOI. Temperature for 9 science. Barometer for 13.6. Magnetometer for 61. Okay. And let's just take a look at this encounter. We are coming in within 4.5. Oh, we are clipping the terrain. So, God, it feels like we're coming in fast. So I'm going to put this on the radially out vector. Just trying to get it on the vector here. And just, I'd prefer not, because I'm worried I won't be able to transmit it all before we actually hit. Oh God, I'm getting these sticky keys disable. Sorry. I'm out of fuel. Ah, shoot. Okay. Okay, I gotta pay attention. I will explain what just happened there. But unfortunately, I just ran out of fuel trying to correct. I think we're going to hit, but I'm going to try and transmit this stuff all the way. We'll see what happens. But Windows was giving me the sticky key warnings because I was just tapping on the the Shift key. Oh, and I got a new version of Windows, and it decided that's a good idea. Okay, I got to go quick. Magnetometer first. I'm not going to transmit this away. Go, go. Oh, I don't have a signal. Okay. That was a fail. That was a fail, but it was an exciting fail. Okay. All right, so we got up and close with Gilly there. A little too up and close. Ran out of fuel trying to correct there. Thought I had that all set up, but no. Let's see. We got ourselves some Flyby Eve. We have escaped the gravitational influence of the sun. We have gathered the first scientific data from Eve. We have orbited Eve. We have initiated the first flyby Gilly. We have escaped the gravitational influence of Eve. We have gathered our first scientific data from Gilly. And we have escaped the gravitational influence of Gilly. Well, no, we very much did not escape the gravitational influence of Gilly, despite its rather weak and wimpy gravity. That is for the contract. Okay. Well. Well. Press F to show respect. Not sure what that means. Okay, I'm going to look at my sticky keys off. It is off, Windows. I know you can't see this. I shouldn't yell at Windows when you can't even tell what I'm yelling at. Stupid sticky keys. Who wants that? Why would you want that? I don't even know what it does. Let's go back to the Space Center. Yeah, time to measure the orbital change of Gilly. It's like an experimental asteroid redirect. Okay, let's see here. What time we got? I'm actually going to take a quick look at what my internet connection's doing here. Is it? Oh, no, still just good. Still just good. Not happy. But I'm hoping it's okay at your end. If it is, then Windows can go away. Okay, so we did that. We have 377 science. I don't think that's terrible. So we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. But what I do have are some more contracts. So I got another build an orbital station about the moon. Have to be at least 5 Kerbals. So I can use this as an excuse to expand on my already existing moon station. I can plant another flag on the moon. That's never a bad idea. I conduct temperature surveys of the moon near Kerman's Tiers. Oh, yes, a rover. Look at that. That's an excuse for a rover if I ever saw one. And gather surface deployed mystery goo from Minmis, which would be a good idea too. Okay, let's take a quick look at what other contracts we got. Bring volcanic rock from you. Where's this from? From Eve. Yeah, of course. This is the thing, like if I was a new player, like thank you for giving me one of the hardest things in this game to do. Land on Eve with a Kerbal and come back. And it's just chucking it out at you. This game, I tell you. Okay, what else we got? We got conduct temperature surveys at Kerbal. Don't care. Explore Eve. Flying on Eve should not be anything like flying on Kerbal, so you might have better luck there. Enter the atmosphere of Eve. Oh, do a little plunge into the atmosphere of Eve. This is going to expire in 3 days, so I think it's a worthwhile grab right there. Not sure what probably not. I've already gone to Eve today, but I think position satellite, specific orbit of Kerbal. Don't care. Build a new orbital station around Minmis. I'm looking for an excuse. Of course, it's got the obligatory 4,000 units of liquid fuel, which is ridiculous, but I'm going to grab it anyway. We do have an expand on Kerbal Station, too. What's this one? Kerbal Station is currently in orbit. Currently supports 12 Kerbals. Currently has that much fuel. What do they want me to do? Get it up to 22 Kerbals. So that's 10 more Kerbals than what's on there now. 4,460. That's, oh, it's just adding 4,000. No, I'm not going to do that. Nope, nope, nope. Not going to do it. There's no reason for me to have that much fuel. It's, well, maybe I can. Well, yeah, not a bad. Yeah, could put a big fuel module on it. Repair a satellite in orbit of the moon. No. Have I done one of these in this stream, or repair a satellite one? I think I have. Ferry for... I'm not doing tourists. Rescue. I've done lots of rescues. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to grab this orbital station about Minmis one. And expanding Kerbal Station. No, we're going to let that one go. So now what we need to do is collect these together into what might be a semblance of a mission idea. And I'm thinking what might be fun... Don't know what we'll get to today, but to do a crude rover, to build a rover, go to the moon. Okay, we got that. That means I can do the plant a flag on the moon. I can, this one, do a rover mission around here with some Kerbals. I like this idea. And then we'll go to Minmis some other time. I do have this. Just got to bring something that can seat 5 Kerbals. That feels just really, really easy. Feels very easy. So why don't we see if we can do all these in a single mission? That's my idea. All right, let's go into here. 377.4 science, which will, excuse me, oh my gosh, which will unlock 2 of these nodes at this tier, or 1 node at this tier. I got scanning tech for scanning for resources in the medium scanning arm, and I got just better probe bodies. I do not think that's worth it, but I can get 2 of these, which is some deployable antennas or solar panels and some bigger batteries, the light strip. Cargo stuff, the lab. People tell me that the lab is cheating. And I kind of sort of agree, because once you go interplanetary, and if there's a lab in the game somewhere, that thing can produce a ridiculous amount of science. But in this game where science is really at a premium, I'm really kind of tempted to grab the lab. Also has some extendable ladders and the light scanning arm. I want to do a rover, so there you go. There you go. Command modules for the Mark III, the cupola, landing cans. But I got landers. I got vessels. I don't need that. I don't need any of that stuff. We got bigger and rotary junk. I don't know. I find robotics really more of a pain in the butt than anything else. More robotic stuff. We got the grabber units. They generate fun contracts. Especially those asteroid redirect type things. I like this one with the slanty nose cones, the bigger fairings, the bigger engine plate, bigger docking ports. Oh, I like this one. This one's very tempting. Bigger fuel cans is also pretty tempting. Especially these slanty ones, which I like so much. But I'm actually doing pretty good for lifting stuff. Little tiny engines. Separatrons. Alright, alright, alright. Labs give stations purpose, I'm being told. I always find stations have purpose. I like them as it's because of the way I like to do missions. I like vessels that stay in orbit. And having a station as a staging area, I think, is a good idea. Okay, so we're gonna do the lab one. We're gonna do the lab like that, and we're gonna bring a bunch of Kerbals out to the moon. And I'm looking at, I can do one more, right? Yeah, one more. I got this one with the bigger fairings, bigger docking ports. Oh, the stamp, the ground thing for, oh. With this, you can pack a rover all the way inside a cargo compartment and then use an engineer to build said rover in situ, which is really fun, in my humble opinion. So that makes this node even more tempting. And then I got the bigger fuel. I'm going to go here. Slanty nose cones, fairings, bigger docking ports, and the ground anchor make me very excited. That's what we're doing. Boom. There. Done. Done. Okay. So what we're going to do... I'm looking at the time left. I think I'm going to put my rover off until next week. And what I'm looking at is my moon station. So moon station, moon station, moon station, moon station. Apparently looks like this. If they say so. So I have a contract. I always like building my stations in the spaceplane hangar. Obviously, I'm not going to launch it from the spaceplane hangar, but apparently this is what moon station looks like. Okay, I'll believe it. Maybe it's been too long. It's got a lander attached to it as well. And what I want to do is this guy. This guy. We'll get rid of this and this for today. This one. Build a station. Have to support at least 5 Kerbals. Now, the vessel that is going there... Oh, wait. It has to be all new. Ow, you evil, stinky game. Evil, stinky game. Yeah, the vessel that's going there is already in orbit, so that doesn't count towards this 5. It has to be all new. Alright. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to here. I'm going to put some kind of module on this. Maybe build it off of this end. And maybe build a kind of proper docking configuration. You know, with I always consider 2.5 meter parts to be proper parts, if you know what I mean. And I do have under structure, don't I have the structural fuselage? I do. I still gotta spend some money for it, but I will. The structural fuselage. And I'm gonna do something that some people consider a little bit cheaty, but I don't care. Is we're gonna put one on the side, like, so that right, yeah, I guess that's right on the side. Yeah, it is. And then we're going to swing it around like so. And then we're going to use this little tool like so. So it's right in the middle there. See that? And then I'm going to get another one. Put it on there like so. We're going to swing this around. Like so. And we're going to snap this guy in the middle. Which is honestly one of my favorite little... It's like a little docking hub now. I love this. And then I can put docking ports all around that thing. And that'll make a great little docking hub for any future expansions or anything like that. One of my most popular shorts is me doing exactly what you just saw me do here. And I always get people that accuse me of... First of all, one of the things I get accused of is this is just inviting the Kraken. I have never had the Kraken attack this configuration despite the clipping. But other people disagree, that they say this will invite the Kraken, but in my experience, I've never had a Kraken attack from this. And one on the bottom. And the other thing they accuse me of is just the general clipping is cheating. Well, too effing bad. Oh wait, I don't want that. I need the lab and stuff on that end. Alright, so it's got to hold 5 Kerbals. A lab is 2. Probably my best bet then is going with a lab and a hitchhiker can. I do have the hitchhiker can, right? Yeah, I do, because there's one right here. Like that. And then science lab. So that would be 6. You said they don't need to be new. What you need... Oh, how does this work again? You're right. Oh, I always get confused. I'm being Asylum saying they don't have to be new. This piece here needs to be new. They don't have to be new. I think they do have to be. Okay. Everything that comprises this does not have to be on a. This is a better way to say it, and this turns. I'm pretty sure this is right. This does not have to go up in a single vessel, but everything that's on this has to have been built after you accepted the contract. I'm pretty sure is correct. I think I was mistaken in what I was saying before, and I think I found that out. So I'm gonna go with this. I'm just gonna make things shiny. This is gonna be the basic gist of this. I'm gonna. These require. Oh boy, what's my electricity? Oh. Okay, I'll have to do that at some other time. This requires a lot of electricity to run. And I only have the Oxstat solar panels, and I'm not gonna. You need to have 5 units of electric charge. I'm not getting that from like per second. You're not getting that from the Oxstats unless you like did something ridiculous. So I think what I'm gonna do is, at a later time, I'm gonna send up some antennas, and we're gonna do some mounting. So I'm just considering things. Sorry. So I'm gonna have to send up some engineers after I get a little bit more science and get those deployable antennas that I saw, and that's why I'm building this piece on the end of it. And I'm gonna put some solar panels on here, and then I'll get an engineer to just install solar panels on that. That should be enough. I also need some batteries. Oh my goodness. Didn't really know if I was going to be thinking about big high electricity use items. So I'm going to get out I got to do some figuring out. So just bear with me. I'm visiting my spreadsheet. And here, let's see if I can get you to see this. Just bear with me here. Ha-ha! There you go. This is my spreadsheet. And around here, I have a thing for calculating electricity usage. And oh, it's already set up. The usage of the station when you're got two scientists in there and you're cranking through that science data is it uses up 5 units of electric charge per second. And if I put it in, it is about a 30-kilometer orbit of the moon, it's going to spend 211 seconds at most in the night. I'm not counting Kerbal eclipses. We'll have to just try to avoid that situation. And down here on the bottom, it's calculating how much electricity that turns into, which is good, very close to 4,600 units of electric charge. So what do I got here? I'd like to put on, oh my gosh, I have the dumbest batteries. Whoa. I don't know. I'm starting to have my doubts about whether I'm going to be able to run a lab because of the electricity issues. So down here it's telling me, what did I say, 46? Oh, shoot. Of course, what do? I don't turn this off so you can see what I'm doing now. 4,600 units. So I put in a bunch of these, and that's got me now up to 2,800. I might be able to get this to work. Let's see what happens. I can do it. 44? Look at this. You know what's the nice thing? Although this is obviously like crazy number of part counts, which hopefully I won't have trouble with. The actual weight per electric charge is the same for all the batteries. There's some batteries. There's some batteries. Hide them in the tube. No, I like them. I like them. I like them a lot. Okay, let's see what I got for lights. I like them a lot. Oh, we now have like these nice little spots. You know what? I'll stick with these guys. Yeah, I could hide them in the tubes, but I'm not gonna, because I kind of have grown to like them. Lights on. Put some, oh. Okay, what I can do, just to make room for lights. Because I didn't need that many. I was overdoing it. But what else is new? Okay, we'll put these guys on. And then we'll put these guys in the middle. There we go. Light up this monstrosity. Okay, so that'll do us for batteries. That does us for some lights. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with this. Stick some struts in there because I'd love to get an engineer to strut this connection over here up. Get the color scheme to kind of match. Oh, shiny, 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 shiny. Everything's shiny. Look at that. That's nice. Shiny here. And just matching a color scheme that's already been established. All right. Oh, put the batteries around the docking ports. What I was thinking about putting around the docking ports were some blinky lights. You're going to get me putting stuff on docking ports. You know that's what I'm going to be doing. Like blinky lights, like that. I mean, if you're getting me, I'm going with docking ports. I'm putting on blinky lights. Like that. You know what? I'm going to keep it under control. Just 4 sets of blinky lights. I'll keep myself under control. How's that? There we go. That'll give us some nice sound. This I'm kind of sailing in here. This is the port side. And from my sailing, it's red right returning. So red is on the right when you're coming into port. I don't know if that's the way it works in space. But that is what I'm doing. We're going shiny. That one. And we're going to make this one red. And we're going to make it blink. And then this guy, remove it from symmetry. We're making it green. And same with if I'm coming in on this side. Red one on the right. Make you blink. This guy. Remove symmetry. Make you green. All right, I'm done. I'm done with this. I think it's this. So it's not going to be a working lab until I get a bunch of solar panels on this, but I think I'm going to live with what it is. So we're going to save this as Moon Station. The key now is getting this into orbit. So what I'm going to do is make this the root part. Take that, throw it away. And we're going to go to the vehicle assembly building, and we're trying to build something around this that isn't complete catastrophe. Oh, I said I was going to put struts in this, didn't I? So let's put some struts in there. And that's all I'm going to put in there. No Kerbals. No Kerbals. Good, good, good. Okay, so we've got to build this thing a little pusher. And we've got to... how am I going to do this? Build from the top or build from the bottom? Let's see what I can do with the 2.5 meter fairing. So I do now have my new 2.5 meter fairing. How big will she go? She can probably get around all this. The question is, can it go all the way? You know what? I think no. I think my better plan is to do a little fairing, probably not as god-awful as the one I just built there, around the bottom part. And then a 1.25 meter fairing. This is my idea. Around this part. That will detach. Like this. And then a little nose cone on top. Boink. There we go. So that's how this is going to be aerodynamicized. But first things first, let's build this a little pusher. I want to strut up this connection for sure. This is weak as heck. The clipping on the fairing, what clipping? That was a rough build I just did with the fairing that you just saw there. So I'm not sure what you're referring to with the clipping of the fairing. But this is just going to go like that. That's just going to hold that, because the only thing holding this is a docking port. Speaking of which, I should enable the staging on said docking port so that... oh, wait. This is... Ooh, I wanted to connect... This is upside down. My error. I'm going to have to go the other way. Disable staging. Because I want this to connect to the station, so the pusher is going to have to be connected on the other end. So it's going to have to go up like this. That'll make things more interesting. Because that feels top heavy. Or, no, I got a better idea. Much better idea. What I'm going to do, so the pusher's going to go on this end, but the pusher's going to have its own docking port, it will go up on this end, because I think it'll be easier to push on this end, and then we'll do a little bit of Apollo-style maneuvering, get to here before we do our ejection burn. Or maybe after we do our ejection burn, but before we do our docking. So I'm going to build the pusher. I need to have that. I need to have... I'm going to go with a 1.875 meter fairing here now. Like that kind of a thing. Close that off. Struts. Don't worry, I have a plan. Has a plan. You shall see my cunning plan. Come on, struts. There we go. What do I have for containers? Actually, I'm changing my mind here. I'm putting in the 1.25 meter container. Inside that. I'm gonna go probe core. I see stuff in the chat. Probably people telling me things I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I know I added... Oh, you don't like that I added nav lights to only 2 of the docking ports? I'm very, very sorry, but... Yeah. You know, okay, this is... You were talking about OCD. Lucas is talking about... But my particular brand of anal retentiveness didn't like that if I put... Oh, it would have worked. This one's green. If I made all of these green... Yeah, you're right. Do this. Here, it'll only take me a moment. You're right. I was thinking when I had it set up horizontally that these would be green and then I'd have red ones on the side and that would drive me crazy. But I'll just put all the green ones on one side and all the red ones on the other side. There. Much better. Thank you. Okay. Still haven't built my pusher yet. Okay, so this thing needs to get to the... I'm looking at a Delta V map. I won't bring it up because I'll forget to turn it off and you guys will get mad at me. So I need 860 meters per second to get out to the moon, 280 meters per second for the capture. I'm just thinking how much this pusher is going to require as far as Delta V goes. 860 plus 280 for the capture. I really should have these numbers memorized by now. Plus about another 1,000 to do the upper part of the orbit. I'm looking at around 21 to 2,200 meters per second. I got these 1.875 meter cans. Looking at around 21, 2,200 meters per second. What would be a happy engine under there? How about a good old Cheetah engine? How would you be? Would you be happy for me? Because the Cheetah has a good Delta V, does it not? Isn't it like the 1.875 meter version of like the Poodle and stuff? Not a good Delta V, I mean a good ISP. 355, yeah. Okay, anyway. Vacuum is 1391. Ooh, yeah, might need to go with a bigger. Might need to go bigger. Is that my biggest 1.875 meter tank? It sure is. Okay, so we'll put 2 of these. And maybe like a Bobcat. I could go bigger still. Maybe, no. You got 2.5 meter tanks. Do it. Be a smart person, not a dumb person. You got 2.5 meter tanks. For goodness sakes, use them. We'll stick a Poodle under that. 2,800. See, that's already too much. This will look good. 2281. Once I put on RCS and all of that nonsense, I'll probably be all right. So that's now our root part. Probably want to sneak in a Communitron in there. Probably sneak in a battery and some solar before I forget. It's not us without solar panels or an RTG. Yeah, the solar is coming. The solar is coming. Here's our solar. I know that's sort of a cheat because this solar is technically for this thing, not for up here. But that will satisfy that condition on the contract. I need to have an antenna, docking port, and generate power. Boom. Got all that. So there we go. So what it does need, though, is RCS. So that means monopropellant. Don't know why that took me so long to realize. That means monopropellant. Don't you know? Let's put on 4 of these little mini ones. That should be good. Just like so. Sneak them in a little bit. Because clipping is our friend. Okay. And now this is going to be an interesting thing because this is going to be the configuration when it gets to the station, but when I fly it up, I'm gonna want to have actually this at the opposite end, so it's gonna need to detach from this end, you'll see in a bit if it's not making sense, and come to here. And that's only because I don't like, it feels to me like the massy end is up at this top. So what we're gonna do, let me think. Let's open up RCS Build Aid. I know what I'm going to do. RCS Build Aid, we're going to get the bigger of these blocks. That's this one. And I'm just going to slap on 4 there for now. But I'm going to just temporarily detach this and place these near where the center of mass is. Actually, I think just right here will be good enough. That way they'll be even. Oh, likey. This way. And that's got a little bit of torque, but I don't think it's terrible. I think this will fly and be able to maneuver on its own. That's the idea. And then it'll dock to here. Whoops. And then I'll need to put some more RCS blocks up here to kind of cancel that. Did I grab the right ones? Sure didn't. That one. And help to cancel out the torque. And they're going to have to be whatever works. So, whoa, whoa, whoa. Down, 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 down. I think I'm going to be right on the edge of here. Okay. And we're going to disable yaw, pitch, and roll. And we're going to go up here and disable yaw, pitch, and roll. But I'm also going to turn down the thrust limiter and use that to help balance torque. Roughly. You don't have to be super precise because it's KSP. The reaction wheels are ridiculous. There we go. So that's my that's going to be my RCS configuration. I know when you lose fuel, but actually if you took a look at the default for this is to actually use, oh shoot, the reference is a center of mass. I thought it was this dry center of mass. Okay, my mistake. I thought this is on dry center mass. Okay, we're gonna move these. Using the dry center mass, it'll be very close to that by the time, so these need to be way up here. Oh my golly gumps. Did I turn? No. Wow. Okay, I'm going to reposition these a little bit. The other one, I noticed that the center mass wasn't too different. So the center mass on this little fella, once the fuel tanks, the two center of masses. This is the center of mass with wet center mass. This is the dry center mass. Words, they're hard. I don't think I need to move these, but what I can do is turn down these thrust limiters so the balance of torque that way. I think that'll be good enough. That'll be good enough. Now it's doing it by the dry center mass. So thank you. Who was that who pointed that out about the dry center mass? That was Nathan. Thank you. Okay. This is gone. This is gone. This is gone. Okay. So next is we're going to take this off. And can I flip it? Is it going to let me flip it? No. It's going to be that way. So I have to do it the other way. I'm going to make this fella up here the root part. I'm making this also complicated. Take that off. Whoa, shoot. I grabbed both docking ports. Didn't want to do that. That off. Up we go. And onto here. Now, this is this is the orientation in which it's going to go to space. It's going to launch, right? I'm hoping this makes some degree of sense. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. But the whole idea here is that it gets launched like this, and then probably not until we're very close to doing the docking, I'm going to take this off and swing around and attach to that. That's the whole, that's the plan. Okay. Let's see. Do we have, let's do some orangey colors. What do orangey colors do for us? And I love this. I like that for the poodly. The poodly-oodly. I should have kept this 2.5 the whole way, but I'm committed to what I've done now, so this is what it's going to be. Okay, this... No, I'm going to do it all manually. It's all good. 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 Let's move these antennas, put them more in here. There we go. Action groups. On the light action group, we will deploy said antennas and open these doors. Close that. Okay. Let's build some fairings. So build this one. Comes across like this. And closes onto here somehow. There. Beautiful. Well, maybe not beautiful, but good enough. 4 and clamshell deploy. And then on the top, I'm going to go back to what I was thinking about before. I'm going to put on an upside down 2.5 meter fairing. We're going to turn on those interstage nodes just to give it a little bit of clearance, like so. And we're going to build the fairing. And we're going to put a nose cone on top. Yeah, I think it's going to work. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's collect the fairings into the same stage. And on fairing deploy, which I'm going to attach to the gear action group, we're going to deploy this fairing. We're going to deploy this fairing. And we're going to also decouple that docking port, and hopefully it won't look so bad. The shiny part's just so good, isn't it? I don't know. What do you think? Well, I'm very totally normality. I'm very glad that the tutorials help. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Next on all this is I've got to build the booster under this. So I'm doing a little bit of calculating on the fly here and figuring out this whole thing needs about, I'd say about 4,800 meters per second. So we're going to put, I do have, please tell me I do have the big decoupler. I do. There it is. Gonna put that there. And we're gonna go, oh, I still don't have the, it's not a big deal, but I don't have, the jumbo 64 thingies. I do have, like, what do I got? Some crazy SRBs. I never end up using these really massive SRBs. I do have a mainsail, right? I got a mainsail. Oh, and I got the frickin' twin bores, so I'm laughing when it comes to pushing stuff up in the air. So I need about 47, 48. I'm gonna call it 4,800 meters per second to delta V. Got mountains of thrust, so we can make this bigger still. I might do a little auto strutting on this puppy. That's too much, because she's looking very tall and very wobbly. Still lots of thrust on the bottom end. And it's not even like I could go bigger still, but I think this is going to be fine. Might sneak some more reaction wheels in this. Jeepers. Do I not even need that? No, this is fine right here. Just go with that. That, and I'm going to read the chat in just a little bit because I suspect there are people going, why do this? oh, okay. I mean, I always forget the RCS. I always forget the RCS. They're saying they always forget the RCS, but there was a stream just a couple streams ago where I was forced. Okay, I only have. I don't have the big reaction wheels. I might go for it. It might be foolish, but I might go for it. We'll see what happens. This is the Moon Station lab module. Okay, boom. That goes there. This goes on this motor here. These I'm going to take out of the staging diagram entirely, but I'm going to move them out of the way. There we go. So I just don't have to look at them. There we go. Boy, it's such a simple staging diagram. This looks super wobbly right here. I mean, it really does, doesn't it? What's my money situation? I'm okay. Okay, we're gonna try the simulation mode. I'm gonna try running a simulation. We're gonna spend the money on a simulation, and we're gonna see how this goes. Remember, I can't quick save. I can't revert, but I do have this KRASH simulator mod, which allows me to spend a little bit of money and do a simulation. I think this thing is gonna be wobbly. So the smart bet would be that I should start auto strutting down this stack, but this is so tall. Let's see what happens. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for something here. So we're gonna do a little simulation. We're gonna start this on the launch pad, and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. But who knows? Maybe this thing will just shock the heck out of me. I don't think so. But, oh yeah. Okay, you can see here all the conditions for the contract go green. I just got to get into orbit of the moon and Bob's your uncle. So that's a good sign that that's like that. But, of course, the real test is going to be, is this thing going to just shake itself apart? So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, picking up a little bit of speed. Picking up a little bit of speed. Gonna knock it over. Sticking nicely to the 90-degree heading. Lock that onto prograde. Over here you can see what this is costing me under sim costs. It's not too much. Okay, it's a little bit off course. A good way to see if you got any wobbly happening is just to put it on locked. And then you can, you know, if it's nice and steady like this. Gosh, it ain't bad, is it? It's not bad. Wow. We'll take this to fairing separation and stage separation and make sure all the stages work right. But oh my goodness, this is working about 137 times better than I thought it was going to. Oh, I should pay attention to here. Yeah. I thought it was going to be wobblier. But it's gotten by. It's definitely gotten past what would be max Q. So the chances of destructive or a what do you call that? An unplanned disassembly have gone down dramatically unless the staging's all messed up. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna play a little bit with the colors along this stack here. Try and make that look a little better. And I'm getting the orangey happening here, so I might go orange all the way down. But oh my goodness, this looks great. Just playing there. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Take the flag off. I don't like that blinking it does. Off the hitchhiker can. And the lab. Alright. No, still a little bit away before we lose this stage. I overbuilt this a little. Nothing wrong with going a little bit too big. Oh, shoot, gear. There we go, fairing separation, just like that. A little slow on that. Staging. Throttle up that poodle. Fortunately, this nose cone is a little stuck on there. Not a lot you can do about that. Once I have Sepatrons unlocked, you can use a Sepatron to kind of blow it to the side, but I think this is just ducky and fine. I don't think I need to spend any more money, so we're going to terminate our simulation. We're going to launch this thing for real. So like I said, let's see if we can make this a little nicer looking. Oh, can I not change the cowling on this? Poop and a poop. Alright, I guess we'll do that. That's disappointing. We'll make that orange, that orange, that orange. These darker. Oh, there's no other options other than the shiny one. Always a little... I'd love to see more options for personalizing the rockets. So, like, I'm sure Kitten Space Agency would be all... I'm really hoping... Well, they're talking about full procedural parts, full procedural engines for the Kitten Space Agency game, which I love that idea. you know, unlocking the ability to tweak and just make your own engine. I'd love to see how that can become too powerful, but if you incorporate it into some sort of cost mechanic where like you have to pay to do that, and then you have this engine that can be tooled, and then from then on that engine that you just designed just for you becomes really cheap to put on further rockets. That'd be cool. But I am speculating up the wazoo in a game that's still a long ways away from being released. Okay, make sure there's no Kerbals aboard. Nope, and let's go. Let's go. This one's for real. This one is for real. So we'll get this guy into orbit. And, yeah, I don't need to see the contract. So, T and Z. And I don't need science either. I'm not doing any science with this. One thing too, if you're flying something like this, I get so many people talking about how, you know, they have so much trouble with their rockets flipping out. I honestly think, and this comes with experience, but I honestly think a lot of the time it's just people being too aggressive in their turns. You just got to be really gentle. Especially with a rocket like this. I know this guy wants to flip around. He really does. Yeah, procedural engines do sound awesome. It'd be kind of neat. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm like, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have like early on some sort of engines that are pre-built for you. But then as you progress in the game and you get better, you get the ability to do your own custom procedural engines. I think that would be very awesome. But who knows? Again, they're just speculating. They haven't implemented any of this stuff yet. But it is a very exciting sounding game. Okay. Well, I would assume they'd make procedural tanks as well, but I agree. It's one of the things I don't like about the stock KSP game is how they start you with little tanks, and you got to stack a whole bunch of little tanks, and then all of a sudden the VAB is like, you're passing your part limit, and it just seems such a lame restriction. I'd much rather have a single procedural tank that you can adjust. Of course, there's mods to do that too, so you can always get around it. Yep, Juno New Origins does have procedural engines. Yep. I have checked it out. It was a long time ago. I played it a little bit. I don't know. I played it and it was fine, but all I can think about is how I'd rather be playing KSP. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. KSP just hits a sweet spot for me. When it comes with realistic physics, you know, sort of a sim. Oh. Talking too much. Oh, look at the... Oh, wow. Okay, can people see what's happening there with the poodle? So, obviously, these are the engine configs for when there's two bells here. But I obviously got on the single bell configs. I've never had that happen before because I use this config all the time. I don't know what happened. It seems to be working fine. So I don't think it's a big deal, but it sure looks funny. I'm wondering if I don't know what it has to do with. That's weird. Very, very weird. Okay, let's reduce the throttle here a bit. Stay close by to Apoapsis. Ooh, I left these lights on. See that? They're default. Maybe I should turn them off. Probably up here too. Yeah. Just so that they'll all toggle on at the same time. How we doing? How we doing? Yeah, that's weird. I've never had that. And I'm not having any trouble with communications now that it's still connected to the KSC, but the KSC will drop below the horizon pretty soon, and I should pick up one of my relays very, very soon. And I actually, now you can see the nose cone departing. See, now we are connected to CurbCom 2, but still a very strong signal. And somebody pointed out in the comments, in the YouTube comments, that I actually spoke a little bit incorrectly. Not a little bit incorrectly, actually, quite incorrectly. Let me just grab my relays. Is these my relays? There we are. So we're communicating with this guy here. That I was saying in hard mode you have less ground stations, and that's not correct. What they do is in hard mode they turn up the occultation on the ground station. And if you're not sure what I mean by that, occulation is does the terrain block the station? And in all modes it does to some degree, but in easy mode it gives you, or not normal mode even, it gives you quite a lot of leeway, and the signal actually can go through the ground a little bit. But when you go to hard mode, the signal cannot go through the ground. So the reason I'm losing the signal is not because there's not a ground station here. There never was one, even in the easy game. But in the easy game, or the normal game, I would be picking up the next one and it'd be coming through the ground a little bit because of the occultation multiple. So just to be a little bit more specific. Still, relays fix the issue. All right, let's get and finish off our insertion here. Those antennas deployed too. Oh, they did not. The antennas did not. Oh, I got lights. Okay, everything is wacky. Open that up. There we go. Now everything's right. See, I didn't even have the antennas deployed and I was getting a solid signal because I got decent relays. Okay, I'm almost in orbit anyway. I just got to do a little bit more of a push here. Oh shoot, my lights are messed up. This is supposed to be... no. Okay, let's fix it in just a sec. All right, that's good enough. I'm noticing here, I thought I had greens all the way around. I got... oh, well, whatever. It's what it is. Okay, let's set this up for our... We're going to turn that off. We're going to go to the station. This is Kerbal Station. We're not going there. We are going to Moon Station. So let's set the moon as a target. And I suspect quite strongly that I'm going to have to wait a few orbits before being able to go to the moon because my moon station is in a polar orbit. There it is right there. Set that as a target. So let's fiddle with this. And we've run into this situation numerous times because I've spent a lot of time going to Moon Station. So the first thing is to set this up so you're smacking right in the moon. We'll obviously do that, but you can see here we're coming in at a bit of an angle to the station. That's going to I I never budgeted the fuel for any kind of plane change, so instead, the way you deal with that is you simply pop ahead some more bits, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then use, actually, let's get this back. Bring it back, and you can see, but now that I'm doing it a little later, the moon's moved along in its orbit, and that angle is increased. So you just keep doing that until you get to the point where you will be coming right in edge on, and then your plane change will be minimal. Great way to save fuel. Does mean you gotta wait. Okay, we're getting pretty close now. Very close, in fact. Might have gone one orbit too many. Go back a bit. A little bit of prograde. Look at that. Look at that. Coming right into the plane. We'll make a correction, obviously, on the way there. That burn's not coming up for another 2.5 days. So orient this a bit for the solar panel. But I'm looking at the time of the stream, and I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to have to save that burn for next week. So next week, what we'll do is we'll get this thing out towards the moon. Don't forget, I also want to send some Kerbals out that way. We're going to do a little bit of rovering. So we got to build ourselves a rover, get that on its way out to the moon. But all of that's going to have to be for next week. So in the meantime, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody watching this at a later date. Extra special thank you to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members who directly support this channel. Have yourself a fantastic week, and we'll see you all next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.